Hey guys, it's Jackie here. It has been a bit. It's been a bit, just a little bit of time. I haven't seen you in ages. I know, it's just life, right? Life gets so busy. And look, you're coming on our puppy walk because we have moved. Let me show you. Such a beautiful area. And down there is my house. Not the first white one, the second one. Not that one, that one. Look at our beautiful view now. I had to leave Ubud. We could have really stayed in that house forever because we loved it so much, but we couldn't because the people were coming back from Switzerland who own it. And so we had to move. And you know, I really had to get to Canggu because, well, I was down here 3 or 4 times a week and it was a bit much. It was taking an hour and a half after COVID. So we moved down here. But, lesson learned, I'm always telling you guys about this stuff, like, you know, you got to be cautious and stuff. And so we moved into a house in the heart of Canggu, which I actually hated being in the heart of Canggu, because you know when you live somewhere, I mean, it's fine to holiday somewhere where there's lots of tourists, but when you live somewhere, you don't necessarily want to be around just constant tourists. And 90% of people were tourists in the area we live. We were right in the heart of Canggu. So when you talk about the heart of Canggu, you're thinking like, what I'm thinking is like Brawa, Batubalong. We were in Padang Lingjong, which is really the heart of Canggu too. It's kind of like it's moving up and up. So yeah, so we moved there, and you know what? We won't go into it too much, but it was a horrible house. But the house prices have gone through the roof in Bali. I mean, insane. Like, I have friends easily paying $60,000 US a year, which to me is absurd that you'd pay that, and for quite, like, I mean, nice houses, but not like, not what you'd think to pay for that much. And so when we were looking for a house, we didn't really have much time. So we found this house and we were like, oh, it's fine, like, they'll fix it, it'll get better. And, you know, the owners were overseas and they, like, nothing, there was mold everywhere. So with the kids, it was so bad. And they wouldn't do anything about it. The air conditioning didn't work, and it kind of got so bad. So we ended up staying there like just over 3 months, but we were paid for 9 months. Actually, we were paid for 10 months, and this is how crazy house prices have gone. It was 350 million, right? Which is absurd, especially given it was a piece of crap and probably should have been pulled out. And so we never got our money back. So it's so hard when you pay up front. It's such a risk that you take, and I think we were a bit naive that we thought maybe because, oh, you know, the owners are overseas, they'll fix it, they won't. Yeah, I think there was a bit of naivety there. And so we ended up staying for like 3 to 4 months. So we didn't lose, you know, we were there for that period of time. But we really had to get out because, you know, it's like health and well-being versus like the money, you know. And it was, of course, a lot of money, but it was a choice we had to make in the end. And the kids weren't super happy there, and it was super draining our energy. So now we moved to an amazing area, which I'm super happy with, because look, lots of rice paddies. And you know I'm a rice paddy person. If I can see rice paddies, I'm super happy. Or the bush, or the jungle. I don't need to see the beach or the sea, but this I need to see. So we have come, because house prices have got so crazy now in Bali, you kind of have to get a bit creative. So you kind of either have to go out of the craziness, so out of the Canggu suburbs, or you've got to go smaller, or you've got to go maybe more basic, but maybe you don't mind doing up the house. You kind of got to think of options now. So we decided to move further out, and we moved into a brand new house, which is super exciting. And we got it for a great price. The nicer areas of Canggu that are a bit quieter are like Sese, Chamagi, Perenanan. It's getting a bit busier in Perenanan. And then we've come up even further. So we've come up as if you're going to Tanya Lot in a place called Biraban. And I love it because I feel like I'm in Ubud, right? And that's my thing. It was brand new. We had to furnish it, which was fine because you're in Bali and there's amazing like rattan furniture and all this beautiful furniture for cheap. So when you see the house, it's not going to be finished like the furniture. I've just bought what I like need. Because I'm a minimalist and I'm cautious about spending money, I didn't want to just buy everything because we needed it. I'm like, no, I have to like it. So I've kind of been looking around at what I like, and so you'll see the house as it is now, and then you can see the house when it is fully furnished. So in my next vid, I'm going to take you through the house, which is super exciting. And there's always so much happening, and I think that's why you haven't seen me for a bit. See me for a little bit because, well, it was a bit stressful. I think we'll turn around, puppies. Come on, this way. No, not that way, this way. Come on. So it was a little stressful, like having the house because, you know, stuff kept breaking down and there was so much mold, and you know, mold is so bad for you to breathe, and nothing was getting fixed, and then it was just draining, consuming, and taking up time. So we kind of had 3-4 months of that, and of course I was in Europe for Christmas, which was freaking mind-blowing. I mean, Europeans, you're so lucky, and maybe being in New Zealand this means more to me, but Europeans, you're so lucky that you can drive an hour, not even that sometimes, and you're in a whole other country, a whole different culture, they speak a whole other language. I feel like you're so blessed for that. So traveling around Europe was amazing. And so we're now end of April in Bali, so rainy season has finished. Funnily, normally by this time it's quite cool. Today's probably the coolest day we've had in ages, but I think it's still sitting at like 31 degrees. This time last year, well, May last year, I was wearing jeans. When I first came to Bali and I saw people in jeans, I was like, that's absurd, because I would just be wearing like a dress and I'd be melting. Yeah, so I think if anyone was to ask me like what's the biggest change in Bali during COVID to now, I would say house prices have just gone through the roof. There may be houses that were, you know, maybe 150 million, I'll put the cost up, 150 million, you know, maybe to 250 million are now like, you know, 500 million to 600 million. I mean, the house of prices have just gone up so much, and sometimes you're paying a lot for maybe not much of a house, so that kind of sucks. Yeah, and that's the biggest jump. If I thought, oh, puppy just fell in the water. Oh my god, look. What a little shit bum. Look how dirty he's getting. Look at you now. What happened? Oh, she's a big sausage. My goodness. She is going to need a bath when she gets home. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest price. If I could think, green school fees went up. Poo. You know I love green school, but I don't love that they put the fees up. So, yeah, green school fees did go up, and house of housing went up. But other than that, not much else, because, I mean, Bali is a place that you can do really cheap if you choose to. Of course, now with housing it's a little harder, but I still think you can get creative and like make it more financially viable, like maybe moving out of the area or moving just into not the populated touristy zones. You can still make that work, but Bali you can do really cheap, and then you can live a very high life here, right? Like things that I wouldn't have at home. Like I'd never have a pumbatu at home. So a pumbatu is a cleaner. She's like my angel. She's a cleaning angel. I'd never have a cleaner at home. Oh my god. No, but it's just, well, and the house is neat here. Well, because you'll see like half of the house is outside. So the stuff that comes in every day, it's amazing what comes in. Actually, we've seen a couple of snakes around here because, of course, snakes love the rice paddies. So have to be cautious because, well, I saw the biggest one I'd ever seen. It was so long, it was about 2 meters long the other day. I was like, oh. I actually quite like snakes. I just don't like the fact that they could kill you. Yeah, so they're pretty cool looking, and I like to touch them when someone catches them, but I don't love the fact that they could kill me. It's not super duper awesome. So yeah, you can see my house. I'll show you. Can you see? It's not that first one. It's not that one. It's that one. You can see my pompadour's hanging something over there. She's drying or something, obviously. And look at my view. You know how happy this makes me? The Padang Lengjong house, we were just looking at walls. And I was always like, why live in Bali if you just look at walls? Like, that's not living in Bali. I could be in the middle of anywhere. But that's in the heart of Canggu. You do kind of get that. You get villas that they're all side by side and you've just got big walls next to you. So way happier to be where I am. The other news happening is I have to leave the country soon because I come in on the children have ketas, but I come on a business visa, and normally we leave before the time, but I haven't, so it's been 6 months. So I have to go to Singapore. We're going to go to Singapore for like a week, and then we'll come back to Bali. So people call it a visa run, but I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I say I'm doing a visa run. So no, I mean, I do have to leave the country, but the children do have ketas, and of course they can't stay here by themselves because they would probably burn down the house or something. Next video, I want to show you through the house. You just have to remember that it's not finished, but it's good for you to see how we're living and how maybe you have to live, you have to get creative now that house prices are exploded. Right guys, it's lovely to see you again. It's been a while. Nice to see you, and I hope you like our new area. I'm kind of super happy here. Also, actually, we've got a massive, so the one worry I had with the house was we don't have a massive grass area, and in our Ubud house, which I loved, we had a big grass area, but honestly, like a minute down the road, we have this massive football field, and we've got a volleyball court and a basketball court, so kind of the kids are loving having that all there, and then if friends come around and they want to do something. Also, they're at green school all day, so they're outdoors and in the jungle all day. So they get home, and after doing after school activities, they're exhausted, so it's fine. So anyway, we will see you soon for the next video where you see our house. Bye bye bye.